Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Canby Urban Renewal Agency special meeting of November 6, 2019. If it's the pleasure of the commission, I would defer our opening ceremonies to that of the City Council tonight.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, Dan. Next up, we have citizen input and community announcements. Melissa, do you have anything? Or Joe? All righty. Next up, we have the consent agenda. Did anybody have any corrections to the October 16th, 2019 minutes?
No, sir. I move to adopt the minutes of the October 16th, 2019 Urban Renewal Agency meeting.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Vice Chair Hodson and seconded by Commissioner Hensley to approve the minutes from the October 16th, 2019 Urban Renewal Agency special meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Next up, our new business item for tonight is circling back on the presentation of the design for the downtown gateway arch. Last time we met, we saw, we had a couple options and we made some changes, some suggestions, and I know that they're here tonight to show us the results of that, so take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Perfect. I am Blythe Sacco. If you don't remember my name from last time, I'm here representing Scott Edwards Architecture tonight. My apologies to all of you that Brian Mars, my colleague, is not able to be here. He's home with the flu, so we're hoping he gets better soon. So this evening, I will do my best to walk you through our proposed design as it comes from really your wonderful and critical feedback from the last meeting we had back in August. And as you said, Chairman Dale, we met back in August. We reviewed a couple of design options with all of you. We got your feedback, and there were really two things that you tasked us with as we left that meeting. One of which was to blend the two options with the best of each into one kind of cohesive proposal that would satisfy everybody's desires and wishes for the archway. The other piece was per the request of Commissioner Parker, and that was to do a couple of renderings that more accurately depicted all of the parts and pieces as they related to the improvements being done for the quiet zone of the railway, and show you renderings that were as accurate as we could be, so that you could really see what you were getting in context. And so with that, we went back to the office, and really three things have been in the works since then. One thing is that we have been collaborating closely with PBS, who's your civil engineer on the railway quiet zone improvements. We've met with them several times, and we've synced up our proposal with what their plans are for the quiet zone improvements so that we're fully confident that everything will be in concert. In addition to that, we're going to be timing the design, development, and construction document processes so that they run in parallel, so that we can make sure that as we progress with the design, that all the details are fully in sync with what's going on with their work. Secondly, as the new city, goodness, what is Scott's title?
Administrator.
The city administrator, thank you very much. As he has transitioned into his new role, we've been meeting with Scott and Amanda as well to get him up to speed and make sure that he's fully understanding the proposal and in support of it. So we've met with them a couple of times to review the blended design and get their feedback on that and fine tune it so that it was ready to present to you all. And finally, we've gone through the process of adding in all of that infrastructure to the model and putting together some renderings for you. So without further ado, I will just keep this extremely brief just to remind you of the various program elements. Number one, the archway is to be an iconic threshold into downtown Canby. It is to tie into the existing Canby signage language. It is to provide an armature for event signage. It is to tie into your holiday display lighting. It is to be activated with integrated seating. It will incorporate historical plaques with a curated history of Canby. And in addition, thanks to your suggestion, Commissioner Spoon, it will also integrate a time capsule element. And the last two elements, the historical plaques and the time capsule, our design intent is still to allow for for the Canby folks and whomever you deem it appropriate to do so, to actually design those within constraints from us. So the next slide here is just a snapshot of the site plan. This shouldn't really surprise you much. There aren't any significant changes here. The archway still spans essentially where it did. It's straddled tight to the two paths, and provides a walkway in between it up to downtown. So really, we're just going to roll straight into these renderings. So this first view is looking north into downtown Canby. We've got the lanes correct this time, thankfully. And what you're seeing is every single sign related to the railway that would be integrated. And I don't think you're going to be able to see my mouse. The one element that is different from last time, and it may even be so diminished you may not notice it, but you guys all are aware that along this fence you have these low piers flanking Grant Street. This one here is currently closer to the roadway, and the intention is to move it so that you have symmetrical passageways and a symmetrical entryway. It's been moved. It's already moved.
The other day.
So in terms of the design, of the two options that you saw back in August, you liked the larger pier language that really spoke to the existing armature of your Canby signage and the smaller piers that I was just speaking about. So we've kept that. Also along those lines, we were talking about moving, I think the original proposal had lamps on the face of that pier. We've moved them to the top per your comments. And then in terms of the language of the truss, we had a lot of conversation about that truss. And while some of you really liked the previous language that looked more like a railroad trestle and had that very dramatic archway, there were plenty of concerns about people being able to climb it. And ultimately, what we took away was that the desired approach was to do the slimmer, more box truss. So that's what we have combined with that language of the piers that really speaks to the existing infrastructure in Canby. In addition, we still have the historical plaques on three sides of each of the piers. And then, if I jump back one moment, on the north side, in the north face of each pier is where we're imagining that you would do the time capsule element. Go back. And then, as before, you have the bench on three sides of each pier. This is a view looking to the south, so you can see what it looks like as you're exiting downtown. And I'll just let you take that in for a moment.
There's nothing in the back of the truck on this picture.
Notice that it's Rick's truck.
It is
It's
Rick's
Rick's
truck.
That's fantastic.
He wanted his legacy to remain in this project. He was very proud of that. All right, so we'll move on to the night shots. So this first rendering shows you what the archway would look like on a typical night, not during holiday season.
That's pretty cool.
So as we had discussed before, the intention in terms of a lighting strategy is really to wash the piers on all sides from landscape lighting. Also to shine up at the truss so you can see it really well at night. And then you'd have the beacons of light at the top on each side, and then the lit signage component as well. So that is a typical night. And then here is a holiday evening. So for the purposes of this, we're showing you what it might look like at the 4th of July. But as we said before, the LED lights for the piers would be able to be changed in terms of their color, so you could customize it per the holiday. And you would still get these two kind of beacons of light that you could see. And I will leave it at that. So those are the renderings to indicate what it might look like at all different times of day and year. And I'll open it up to you all for your feedback, comments, concerns, anything that you'd like to talk about.
No, thank you for bringing the ones with it lit. It's really a reminder of how it's really going to invite people into downtown when downtown is dark right now, that it looks like if you're driving by and you see that after dark, you think, oh, I bet there's a place to have dinner over there. I bet there's a place to do something over there. And so I think that that's really helpful for our community to envision its value for the town. So thank you for doing that. I really like the way that you kind of merged all of our ideas together into this. I think it's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking all of the feedback, and I would, from my perspective, you guys knocked it out of the park with our feedback. You encompassed everything that we said, so kudos to you guys on that. I think it looks fantastic. I love, echo what Commissioner Spoon said, and thank you for bringing the different times of year and the nighttime and all of that. I'm more excited about it now than I was before, and I was really excited about it before, so thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Your Honor.
No, I don't think I can build on anything else that's been said. I mean, I think we captured everything in this, and I really like the way that if it's going to pop here, or when it's done like it does here, this will definitely be a draw, and when I really appreciate the work that you guys have. You guys always do great work, and we really appreciate that. I really think that the ability to advertise and promote, our events in town with the banners underneath that's going to be a big component to this. And so, this is going to be great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything?
Ditto.
Greg's got some.
I like it, and I'm interested in the lighting technology now. The lighting at the top of the arch, how's that illuminated? Are there lights in that arch?
I think it would be a combination of lighting from within and then also landscape lighting up at it. I think that we'll have to get a little bit creative with it, but the intention is not to apply like a rope light on the outside. We want to wash it with light without doing something like that. So yeah, I think we would both light it from within the archway, kind of going in, so backlighting it to a degree.
So it hasn't been engineered to that degree yet?
No, at this point, I would say the design entirely is in the schematic design development phase. So that next level would happen if we proceed from here with your approval.
All right. And then on the obelisks themselves, the technology that's there, computer controlled remotely, that you can do the colors there?
Yeah, there are basically remote controls for doing the LED color changing these days.
I've seen that on the Tillicum Bridge in Portland, and they changed that. I did not know we were going to get this. I like this. I've always thought, for example, on home games that we could put the blue and gold up there to honor our football team and other things like that. And also the thing that I like about bringing that technology to Canby is that for years you've heard me talk about wanting to uplight the logging road bridge.
Right.
And by bringing this type of technology to town, I hope it'll stimulate some people's thinking.
I think everybody's pretty much said it already, but I think you guys did a fabulous job with this. Took everybody's ideas and put it together, and I really like it. I think it's a great fit for everything. Everything that everybody had said, I think you guys merged that perfectly. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just echoing what everybody else said. Really like how it's come out. One of the tests I always like to use on these things is it simple and elegant enough to be timeless, right? So that, down the road we don't go, oh yeah, that was the 1910, that's the 2010s, right? Or that was the 80s, right? Yeah, and I think we're there. It's, stone is timeless, but you've got the modern structure of the truss arch. Yet the Canby sign itself harkens back a little bit to those old railroad routes. I do like the lighting that you've done with the Canby sign much better than the individual can lights for me. That was a little bit too Disney Main Street for me. But yeah, this has a nice timeless feel and mix. Really beautiful. Could you go to the picture before this?
Yeah.
I think it was the one before, it's the reverse angle shot. There you go.
That guy.
Yeah, that, we knew that would be the visually, what's the phrase, visually dense?
Noisy,
Most
potentially
visually noisy perspective of all, yet it stands out nicely.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of visual clutter there, you know, and there's power lines that belong to PGE and we can't move and just all kinds of things going on, but you can tell that's our arch and it looks good. I don't feel like it got lost in the railroad hardware.
No, I agree. I think that the proportions of those piers and their scale works to our advantage in that respect.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where the sequoia trees are as well?
The sequoia trees
Amanda
are
says yes.
outboard, so those
Yeah.
they get to stay.
Right, I'd say.
Yeah, but yes, but we're getting as close to those pads as you possibly can.
No, it's just over the years as the sequoia trees grow more and more, they'll help with that visual clutter.
I think so,
And be
too.
more of an eye draw, I think, to the arch.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they'll frame it, I think, nicely.
Yeah, my grandkids will go, oh, that's pretty cool. It'll take them a while, but yeah, nice job. So there's no official motion for tonight, right? Just a consensus on looks great, go forward.
Yes.
Everybody looks great, goes forward? Okay. Timing, Blythe and Amanda were telling me probably January-ish. It'll go out. We're coordinating real tightly on the quiet zone as well to work in lockstep with them.
That's exactly right, and that's in line with PBS's schedule, so,
Great.
yep.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very much.
That was
Appreciate your
great.
time.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Do I need to do anything with this? No.
Nah, we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
All right. Scott, did you have any announcements to make for tonight?
I have none, thank you.
All righty. And do we have any further business for the agency tonight? Awesome. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Commissioner Hensley, seconded by Commissioner Varwig that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Canby, that's it for the Urban Renewal Agency. Stay tuned. In 37 minutes, City Council will be on live for you. Good night.